at work, I bring up this topic at least once a day with my friends. I've been wanting to talk about it. I always say, what the hell happened to guys? Why are they so wimpy and effeminate now? I see this challenge circulating. It's in my recommended feed. So I watched it, and now it gave me inspiration to talk about this topic. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Listen to this guy and watch his mannerisms.
Thank you guys. Have an amazing day.
This guy walks. Look at this guy too. So I don't know, is that the cool thing these days, is to act really effeminate, have a effeminate voice, and spit in people's consumer goods? Or eat people's consumer goods and put it back?
Let's go.
Alright, so I don't get the challenge. The challenge is to spit in food, lick the food, eat the food, then put it back, or whatever, spit Listerine mouthwash back into the container and put it back. So they walk away from it. See, they leave. So what's the prank? Okay, so you leave. So if someone comes from behind you and buys that, what you just contaminated, you're not going to see the reaction of potentially, buying the germs you just spread and eating that ice cream or using that mouthwash. So I don't get the challenge. So I guess, it stemmed from one girl licking ice cream and getting 12 million views, and I guess getting 12 million views is very enticing. It's just really selfish to me, seeing these guys, how they act. They're acting very flamboyant, trying to be all flashy, trying to look like they have charisma. I don't know. Yeah, that's why I say, what happened to guys? What happened to pride? I pride myself in being kind of like an old school guy, raised with old school values. Open the door for people. Help people out who are weaker than you. Just be a good human being in general. And this sort of challenge, it's disgusting. Like I said, what if someone with a weakened immune system does buy what you guys just contaminated and they get very sick? It's very selfish, a very selfish way to get views just because you want popularity. Shout out. I also wanted to make this video to give a shout out to my two best friends at work. One's my little buddy and one's my big buddy. At my job, I pick up heavy things all day long. I work at FedEx, and I'm the guy who collects the things that won't go up conveyor belts. If it's oversized or over 75 pounds, I'm the guy who collects that stuff and brings them directly where they need to be shipped out. And my two best friends at work, one's my little buddy, one's my big buddy. Nayeli's my little buddy, Johnny's my big buddy. And we'll start off with my little buddy first. I hadn't talked to her for a month. You gotta win my respect at my job. At my job, I kind of observe people, watch who the hard workers are. And a couple weeks ago, she asked me, because, at work, there's certain people you don't like. That's just how life is. And she said something along the lines I wonder what people say about me. And I said, what, your vibe is really good. You're just a good kid. You're a hard worker. But I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw you, I'm like, look at this little kid. She should be working at Old Navy. And then she ended up being one of the toughest people at work. And that's why I really respect her a lot. She's just a hardworking kid. She'll pick up what she can. And I see guys, I always say you're better than you should be. Just because, small in stature, and I see other guys at my job much bigger than her, and they're lazy. They won't pull anything heavy out of trucks. At minimum, their job is to at least pull the heavy things at the front of a truck, and then I go collect them. But a lot of times when I'm working with certain people, they leave it all the way in the back because they're either too weak or too lazy to drag them out. So so this kid won my respect by showing me effort. I need to see something. You need to show me something to win my respect. And I think hard work and strength and just being a good person goes a long way. Like when you're considerate to others, which these two fellas aren't, it goes a long way. And then Johnny, my big buddy, the limit at my job is 150 pounds. Like if something's over 150 pounds, it goes to FedEx Freight. One day, I ran across a box. It must have weighed 400 pounds because someone tried to help me with it. My side went up, his side didn't budge, and management wanted me to get it on a scale. They wanted me to get it on a scale to prove that it was over 150. So I was thinking to myself, who's strong enough here to help me with this? And I remembered one guy, he worked on the opposite side of the building from me. So, I approach him. I say, hey, man, I don't trust anyone here. You look like the only guy here who could help me with this box, man. Could you help me out with this? And, we were able to get in on a scale, and that's how I became really good friends with Johnny. He's a big dude, strong kid. You don't have to be strong, physically strong to win me over at my job. Like I said, I respect just people who show an effort, but like I said, Johnny stood out because, people at my job are built like this guy, or they talk like this guy, like the first guy. They have this exact same voice, exact same mannerism. I don't trust them helping me with something really heavy, so Johnny really stood out at work, and, we became really good friends. So those are my two best friends at work. I admire their work ethic. So at my job, most of the guys want to do the girls' job. Like one of the girls' job at my job, it's called, if you don't work at FedEx, you probably won't know what I'm talking about, but it's called towers. Most guys want to go out of towers. You're just waiting for boxes to come up conveyor belts, and you're just basically pushing them to the destination. There's only 3 sides, and you're just pushing them to the destination that they're supposed to go to. Then they slide down a little chute. I call that a girl's job. I respect my little buddy and my big buddy a lot because they don't want to do those jobs. They like the physical, tough jobs, and working with those two, it's like it works very fun for me. I like working with those two, and I respect them a lot because they're showing strength. And that's what I think. That's where I think respect comes from in this life, is showing strength, showing good character, showing that you want to help people, showing a work ethic. And when I see stuff like this, it's very selfish. Like, not every guy these days are like this, but a lot of guys from what I see are starting to act like this, just acting very effeminate. They don't take pride in being a guy. And, you don't have to be a caveman to be a guy. You don't have to be a brute to be a guy. Just be respectful towards other people, I'm not really trying to put down, like, if you're flamboyant like these guys, but it's just like, what's up with these sort of guys who are, like, extremely selfish? Because, like I said, I see it at my job, too. It's like the flamboyant, like, self-centered type. They don't care about others besides themselves, like guys like this. It's like, that's why I respect Johnny a lot. He's just a tough guy, and, he's a hard worker, and he enjoys, I think that's why me and him get along a lot, because we actually don't like people's help, Both of us, we help others, but I talked to him one day about this, and when we run into something heavy, we actually don't want help. We want to do it ourselves, because, that's the guy in us. It's our job, and we just enjoy it. We enjoy the physical nature of our job. And then the contrast of my little buddy, she's someone who has no business being as tough as she is, and she just annihilates the guys at my job. And she's just some little kid, man, and she's just a badass kid. It's like, God, man. And it goes back to what I'm saying now. It's like, why is this little kid much tougher and a much harder worker than the guys at my job? And it's the nature of the job too. It's a physical job, and you got this little kid, like, being a much better worker. So, I don't know what's going on with society, man. This challenge, man, it's just extremely selfish to me. all for the sake of views, all for the sake of showing off and looking like this dynamic personality, I guess. And you just could care less if you harm someone else.